What's up, everybody? Welcome to our Wednesday Privy live YouTube video. I appreciate you guys popping in. Benson, how are you doing today?
Doing absolutely fantastic.
I love it. I love it. I
Doing
love it. I love how
great.
you always bounce around different backgrounds. You've got like the brick wall, you've got like the nice chair, you got like that kind of like I kind of want to have like an old fashioned just chilling in that room right there. That's the kind of vibe.
Yeah. Well, I'm
Cool.
back in Denver, right? So I'm back in my home office. I'm not in St. Louis for at least the short term, but you never
Okay.
know. I could be back there.
For sure. And do you go out there for is it working on deals? Is it just another place to go to?
Yeah, working on deals. That's where I really have some solid foundations built. I got agent relationships, I've got buyer relationships, and of course I can do all that virtually, but part of my newer strategy is keeping some of these properties, not just wholesaling them.
For sure.
So, getting in these things and looking at them with my own two eyes certainly helps if I plan on keeping them. And that's kind of the long term plan. Now I'm going to be looking at multifamily properties.
I love it. I love it. To wholesale, to keep, flip.
I'd love to get some into my portfolio. So keeping them.
Hell yeah. That's awesome, man. Well,
Oh,
good
yeah.
stuff. Well, guys, as usual, this is a very, very like off the cuff live show. You are going to get real answers, real calls, real results. One thing that I posted inside my Discord today, I always kind of give it that heads up of if you guys are not already watching this show live, make sure to tune in. We go through live markets that I haven't stepped foot in. And also, if you have a market that you want to see, let us know so we can go through it. Today, I posted out there telling everybody make sure to pop into the live. And also, I'm always open to constructive criticism. One of the requests we got today was you guys are awesome with everything you guys are doing with finding buyers and showing us how Privy works. However, I want to see more live calls to active listings. So what we are going to be doing today is calling active listings in markets where I already have some buyers. And then also, if you guys are a buyer or have buyers in a market that you want to see us call in, let us know and we'll jump into that market too. I did put one other challenge. I said if we can get this up to 100 viewers, I've got a giveaway. We have our brand new bronze tier course, which is a month-to-month subscription. We will give away a free month subscription if we get this up to 100 people live. So make sure to share this video, comment, and also don't be scared to ask questions. It is a live show, so our whole goal is to be able to get as many people in here collaborating as possible. Similar to what I said at the mastermind, you have no idea who's on the other side of the screen, who is the one missing piece to your business that you need. And inside here, we have a lot of opportunities for you to collaborate. So with that said, do you guys want to see a specific market? Where are we going to go and find a deal for you today? I don't go in. If it's a market that I'm not doing deals in, I'm not going to go and target the deal. I will just pass it along to either one of my students or into our Discord community for somebody to go after. All I ask is that obviously, if it's not your market, make sure that you have connections out there before you go and get this property under contract. And then if you are in this market, have fun. Go after it. Let us know how it is. We'd love to bring you onto the show even and talk about how you got the deal closed. So we have lots of comments coming in of locations. I love it.
Yeah. Looks like we've got New Jersey,
Mm-hmm.
San Diego, Atlanta. Are
Wow.
the main
Benson,
ones.
do we have
Tampa.
Privy data in New Jersey?
We do.
Let's do New
Yeah.
Jersey because I saw somebody post that inside of our Discord today too that said they really want to see inside New Jersey. And if we can go fast, I mean, I'm open to multiple markets. So I think it's going to be cool to start off showing people on the East Coast what can be done in sometimes where people say there's no deals out there in New York and New Jersey. Those East Coasters, they are just so mean and aggressive. Let's call them.
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's go ahead and do it.
Beautiful.
So Ishak, he's not giving up on New Jersey, so we're gonna
Definitely
do
not.
that one.
And I love it. I love New Jersey. Let's do it. What's up? And it's Isak. He's one of my diamond tier students. Amazing guy, great human, crushing it out there in that market. Benson, did you want to pull up Privy and then I'll kind of navigate and we'll go through some of the best ways to get some more MLS deals for people?
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. So if you guys saw the thumbnail today, you also saw that we're going to talk about the 5 best ways to make sure you can get more deals on the MLS with using Privy. So if you're here live, take note of it. If you're watching the replay, still take note of this. This is going to be something that I feel would be extremely valuable when you're first getting started. So we've talked about all the basics and foundation setting within Privy, But what I really want to touch on is 5 things that I do and 5 things that I push onto my team every single day, every single week. So the first thing, obviously, is you have to know your market. You can't just
Mhm.
go in and magically pick a market and say, yep, this is what I'm going to do without understanding exactly what's going on in the market. The last however many videos we've talked about in depth going in and finding buyer relationships and how you can figure out the high investor activity areas. So in this case, looking at the map, you don't want to go pick some random market in Wyoming. You don't want to pick a market in South Dakota. You don't want to pick any of these smaller markets where there is no investor activity going on. What you want to do is go where you can see all of the blue. You want to see the high numbers. You want to see where there's actual potential for opportunity as opposed to a miracle. So, first off, with knowing your market, high investor activity, Benson, would you agree that's probably the first and foremost best step to go into?
For sure. Yeah, high investor activity. And then before we switched over to this investor activity view, we
Yep.
had the data source view up. So if that high investor activity area can be in an area where Privy already has direct to MLS, that's another perk. Another option is, does it help to have boots on the ground? For sure it does. Is that one of the first things you should be looking at? No, it should be last.
Yep.
But if you have a high investor activity area, and then you can overlap that with some of Privy's data sources that have direct to MLS,
Mhm.
and you're either your own boots on the ground or you know somebody that is, or you can get somebody like I did. I went and found an agent in a market to do that for me. Then you've got the three main things that I look for when choosing a market. Um, but when we look at this map here, there's lots of blues. So, make sure you're distinguishing between like 33 deals compared to 20 or 2000 plus deals, right?
Mhm.
There's a big difference there. It isn't just any investor activity. Some people often ask me too, like, well, what's the number I should have above? Like, this is 199. Is that enough? Well,
Mhm.
what I tell people is that it really isn't about like there's a certain threshold. It's more about comparing markets to each other. So I'm definitely going to choose St. Louis over this part of Missouri.
Yep.
But what about Kansas City versus St. Louis? Like they're only about 400 apart.
And I think
Both of
that's
those would be
personal
viable
preference, right?
markets.
In this
Yeah,
case, like there is no big difference between other than the 400 more in St. Louis. If you're in Kansas City or you have boots on the ground in Kansas City or you even wanted Kansas City, that's where our whole goal to tell you with picking the right market is understanding it's St. Louis and Kansas City are good options versus some of the smaller markets where you see like 60, 33, 42, 40, 15. You don't want to go into those smaller markets. The next best thing, which if you understand anything about what I teach in my model, it is absolutely having your buyers lined up. Where a lot of people
hmm
fail in wholesaling, it's nothing more than they blame it on analysis paralysis, but it's not that. It's that you just don't understand the process. You can't go get a property under contract and then just hope that you're going to get a buyer that's going to be interested. Yes, if it's a deal, it should sell. But if you don't know what a deal is and you don't have a buyer, do you really think you should be writing offers? Probably not. So the second
no,
step is to find buyers. The thing I love about Privy with this is that we can see the high investor activity and you can actually reverse prospect to see who one, the agent was that represented the investor, and two, who the buyer was that flipped the property. So I love to go personally to the agents to build the relationships. Not going to deep dive too much into that because I want to challenge you guys to go back and watch the videos if you haven't already. See how we build the buyers list in those relationships. Number three is probably the most important, and it's going to be what most people struggle with. We've had a number of videos where I've gone in and it's been off by a couple $100. But number three, you have to know your numbers. If you're going in and trying to reverse prospect this and you're trying to assume what a deal is rather than knowing what a deal is, you're off on the wrong start. You need to be able to underwrite properties efficiently. And I will tell you with extreme confidence, the best investors I know are underwriting a minimum, and I'm talking a minimum, 50 properties per day. It's a KPI that's not really talked about enough because it's not sexy. Are you going to go in and underwrite 50 properties every single day with the potential of not getting paid? How long are you willing to do that? At a certain point, you start underwriting, you become faster. The beauty behind it is that I could underwrite 50 properties now in probably about an hour, maybe 2 hours. It's a lot and it has to be very intentional, focused work. But if I do that and I'm consistent, I can underwrite properties now in markets that I'm doing deals in about 3 minutes or less. So, number one, recap, know your market, find high investor activity. Two, have your buyers lined up. Number three, know your numbers. Number four, Build the strongest relationships with your agents. This is something I've been talking about very heavily over the last week, where if you're not going out there and being intentional with the right direction and steps towards building relationships with the agents, you're going to fail in this strategy. The realtors are the backbone to everything. The buyers are what makes the money happen. So the agent relationships, you have got to have strong relationships with them. Number 5 is honestly the easiest of it all. It's just stay consistent. So if you're looking for KPIs, underwrite 50 properties per day, have 50 conversations with agents per day, and submit a minimum of 5 offers per day. So that's how I look at this whole strategy. If you can do those 5 things, you will see a crazy amount of success doing this strategy.
Yeah, I'm zooming in on this part of New Jersey. This is an area where we do have direct to MLS. This direct to MLS from Bright MLS is goes all the way up to about like Trenton-ish.
Okay.
Above that is the Green State MLS thing it's called. That one we don't have just yet, but it is one we'll eventually add. There is third-party MLS up there, but again, you want to try to get the best data that's available. So this is the highest investor activity area in New Jersey, right? So right over here, it's just on the other side of the river from Philadelphia, so there's some overflow.
Dude, I had
And
no idea Philadelphia was so close. I was like, Philadelphia?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
right there,
literally on the
man.
other side right there.
Yeah, that's
All
the
right,
Delaware.
let's do it.
So if we drill down here, this is where we would want to be looking for deals. This is where you would go market. If you're doing off-market marketing, this is where you would source for deals. If you're working with an agent, this is where you'd want to tell them to look for you. Um, but then it's about like learning the market. Like, so what are the people buying properties for? What are they selling them for? What percentage of ARV are they buying at? So you want to spend some time doing that market research so that you understand what what a deal is. Because a lot of times, if you don't know what a deal is, guess what happens? You don't know what offer to write. So if you
Mhm.
don't know what a deal is, you don't know what ARVs properties are selling for, you won't be able to determine what an offer amount should be. And you're certainly not going to be able to talk to an agent about what that offer should be. So go back and look at some of their more recent sold deals. Just look at pull up the property report. This is the comparative market analysis. You can look at the property details here. Scroll down here. Um, Ryan was talking about underwriting deals. Well, underwriting means pulling comps, right? That's part of it, at least. Pulling comps, seeing if it matches your criteria. Does it fit everything that you're looking for? But part of that is understanding the value of the home in its as-is condition, as well as what it's worth after it's been renovated. Also, too, you got to think about who your buyers are. Are your buyers flippers or are your buyers um, buy and hold investors, landlords? So you got to look at the market rents. Is a property like this going to be able to cash flow for your potential person on the back end? Or if they're just fix and flipping, then is there enough data that's here that's going to help you to prove value on that? Now, our system automatically pulls comps for you. So when it comes to underwriting, and you're talking about speed and the amount of properties you can underwrite so you can hit those numbers that Ryan was just talking about, leverage the comping algorithm. That will save you hours and hours of time. And it's intuitive. It uses the same process that I would use as an agent or that an appraiser would use to comp a property, but it all happens in a matter of seconds. And if I was going to go in and pull comps with my 20 years of experience and with my access to MLS in Colorado, it could take me hours to do one or two properties properly. So don't think that that's such a simple process. It really can take a lot of time. And then below that, come down and look at the before and after data on the flips themselves. Look at what they're buying them for, what they're selling them for. Make note if they're buying from MLS in a particular area or if they're more
Mhm.
off market. This one happens to be an off market acquisition because it says public records. If they had bought it from the MLS, it'd have an MLS ID here. They got it at 31% of the ARV. Now, no one property is going to give you the full scope of what's happening in any given area, but you want to start to kind of do your market research here to figure out, what is going on with this, who the buyers are, right? This is AGLR Properties LLC. The agent on this one was Kimberly Brunette Thomas. That's here at the bottom. It's also at the top of the CMA. So go back and look at a handful of these, figure out where the bar has been set, what a deal is in a particular area, and then that way, when you start looking for deals, you're going to be like, oh, yeah, well, that's a deal because of this.
Mhm.
because of the market research. This is what you're going to be paying attention to.
Absolutely. And I see the comments in there asking about, hey, can you guys underwrite in less than 3 minutes? We're going to. We're about to find properties that are active. Benson's doing a quick overview showing about finding buyers. I have two diamond tier students that are in the New Jersey market. So I'm very confident with being able to send them a deal and getting them to help me with closing it. Ivan, your question as, for example, how it's presented, there's a lot of different formats. What the most important thing is when you're sending a deal out that you have under contract, what is the address? What is the price that you're asking, not the price you have it under contract for? What's the earnest money? Typically, it's 5,000 non-refundable. What's the close of escrow? What's the title company or closing attorney? Any additional information? Do you have a link to the photos or to a video of the property? And then lastly, what's the access? Can they go in there and view it right now? Can they go and schedule an appointment? Is it owner occupied? Is there a tenant in it? People want to know when they can view the property. Those 8 terms are going to be your most important.
Yep. And you guys just going in and poking around and looking at this property here, or these other properties, like what I was finding in this part of New Jersey is
Mhm.
actually most of the stuff that was recently sold was off market acquisition rather than on market. Now, does that mean that you can't do on market deals here? No, but it's one of those things you want to pay attention to. You want to pay attention to what the buyers are that you're going to be targeting, the agents that you're going to be working with. What are they expecting? So, if you have an agent who is listing a property in the back end, and then they have no expectation of making money up front, well, that's good to know. Well, this is something that Ryan and I talked about last time. If an agent helps buy a property, they have an expectation they're going to list it on the back end too. So they're making
Mhm.
money on both sides. And I remember there was a question from somebody who said, well, do you have to pay an agent on the front end if it's an off market deal? And let's say you found it and you were going to, use an agent as a partner to get that to their buyers. And you don't have to, and you shouldn't lead with that. You shouldn't come in and say, hey, I'm going to pay you, an assignment fee, or I'm going to split my assignment fee with you right out of the gates. Like, let that happen on its own organically. But
Mhm.
whenever you see agents that are not part of the acquisition side and they were just on the disposition, well, that's interesting to know because that means they don't have an expectation of making money on the front end.
Definitely.
So, you guys, so there's lots of potential here. I think anywhere from 50 to 55% of the ARV is reasonable because I saw some properties that were in that range. And so we would have gotten some buyers together, line those up, and talk to some agents to do the one to the many. But now let's see if we can find a property where Ryan can talk to the agent and work through that, right? That's what we're shooting for, right?
Let's do it.
So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to click find similar active deals. And then Privy is going to go in and it's going to pull comps on all the properties that are in this area. And it's going to show us houses that we can buy today that could be good deals. Now, the default algorithm is looking at 75% of the ARV or lower. So if there's a house that's at 70%, it'll show up. If there's a house that's at 40%, it'll show up as is part of the result. And then you just got to look at the comps and figure out, okay, well, where do I need to be for this to make sense? So this house is for sale for 99 grand. Um, this one went for 140. This one sold for 17, or it's actually under contract for 175. This one was flipped and went for 157. So without asking for a discount, we're between 57 and 64%.
Mhm.
Um, this would be one I think that we could go after because it does have deferred maintenance and needs work, but we're gonna have to get it at a discount for the numbers to work.
Absolutely. And this is, I mean, the beauty behind what I like to preach about Privy is in this case, the coolest part is that it's doing the work for you. Like we're talking about the property that's listed at 100,000 and we have comps that Benson it was at 140, was it in 150?
No, it was well, there was one at 140, but they went all the way up to 175.
175. And that 175 is pending. Now, I will make a note in this current market. I like pending comps more than I like something that sold more than 3, 4 months ago. So if it sold at the end of last year or even at the beginning of this year, it's a hard comparable. So the thing that I like, if you look on the right side where it says updated, you can see the one on Collings Road was on days on market was 38. Well, it looks like about 30 to 45 days is about average for days on market over there. That's not bad. But that one went pending and it was listed at 175. You can try to call the listing agent and see if they'll disclose to you what the price is at that they're under contract for. You could wait for it to close. But if you're in a position like this right now where you need to get a deal, I have to go in there and I have to just make an assumption. If it was sitting for 38 days, they're probably at 165 to 170. They're probably not at the full list price. But the nice thing is that if we're looking at 175 as a potential comp, when we're at 99,000, we already have room to work with. Now, just easy math. Let's say we wanted to go off that 55%. 175 times by 55% is 96,250. We're at 99,900. Do you think you could negotiate it down $5,000? I think you probably could. Yep. So in this case, we want to show you what some of the conversations are. We're going to go in there. I'm going to try to build rapport with the agent. I'm going to see if they have any offers. I'm going to see what the situation is. And then we're going to go in there and try to get this thing under contract.
Very cool. So well, this here, I'm not sure if you were pulling up the agent info as we were speaking, but it's Matthew William Daniel Humphrey.
Oh, yeah.
Co-listers.
That's good. He's okay. I was like, that dude's got like 25 names.
Yeah, no kidding. What the heck? So I'll put that in the actually I don't have the private chat.
You're good. We're gonna call him. And also, just for reference, everybody, I am not doing deals in New Jersey. I've been to New Jersey one time, and I was probably 12 years old. So I have no connection out there outside of my Diamond Tier students.
So just a couple of years ago.
Hello?
Hi, I was looking for Matt.
Yep, this is him.
What's up, Matt? My name is Ryan. I'm an investor out in Arizona. I'm calling about a property that I think you have listed. It's on Merrimack Road.
Yep.
Awesome. Is that one still available by chance?
Yes, it is.
Cool. So like I mentioned, I'm an investor. I'm trying to go in there and fix and flip the property. Looking at some of the comps around it, it looks like it's pretty good numbers right now. I was just curious. Go ahead.
I was going to say, for that area, you're looking to fix and flip it. You're not looking for like a rental or anything like that.
I mean, to be honest with you, I'm out of state, so I'm not opposed to keeping stuff as rentals. It's just that if I'm buying it, I'm not sure what kind of return I could get. Do you think that I could probably get above like $1,500 a month, or do you think that's kind of like the peak?
Well, in that area, because I'm from the area. I live 20 minutes from there.
Yep.
That area is more like there's a lot of Section 8. You know what I mean? I don't know if you like Section 8.
Sure.
But that's a play on that, the Section 8, you know. Okay. And then pay the difference, but that's at your discretion, obviously. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. And I mean, I really appreciate that because I'm not familiar with the area. So
yeah, it's trying to use the right terminology here.
Sure.
Are you an agent?
I am an agent. Yes, I'm licensed in Arizona, okay. But I'm not really looking for any kind of referral fee or anything other than just opportunity.
I just want to keep it straight up with you. You know,
sure.
I'm just trying to use the right terminology. It's more, you could do your due diligence and just look up Camden, New Jersey.
Okay.
I'll just say that.
For sure. No, and I appreciate that. I think that part of what I'm looking for is what I feel like most investors should be saying, but we haven't really the last 12 months, is that I'm just looking for something I can make some money on. So
yeah, of course,
in this case,
New Jersey moves quick.
For sure. In this case, do you think flip would still be an option?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Yeah.
Gotcha. So I'd be paying cash, no games or anything like that. I mean, I could come in. I don't know if the seller's looking for more of a quicker close or if they're looking for more of a like 20, 30 days, but I can do whatever's easiest for the seller. Do they have a preference?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
You know?
Okay. Gotcha. So I do use hard money and some private money. Is that going to be an issue, or are you guys?
No, we just cash or hard money.
Cool.
That's what we prefer, cash or hard money.
Sounds like you're familiar with it. Are you guys investors too, or do you guys?
Yes. So I'm the in-house agent in a real estate investment company.
Okay.
We do our own flips. We do rentals. We do wholesale. All that.
Gotcha, dude. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, if you don't mind me asking, why haven't you guys looked at anything like investment play on this deal?
Well, we were.
Okay.
But we have a lot of properties going on right now. Like
gotcha.
I just listed one of our flips and it sold in 2 days.
Oh, beautiful.
We have a contract we have a contract out on that right now.
For sure. Yeah. The only reason I ask is like, is there like a bomb or something under this property that I should know about?
No.
Gotcha.
No.
Cool.
It's a good opportunity because we do wholesale. Like I said, this is an assignment contract.
This one is on Merrimack?
Yes.
Okay. So I mean, I'm familiar with wholesaling and I've got a lot of connections out there too. That's part of the reason why we're looking in the Jersey market. I don't
You
want,
should, I'm telling you. It's
yeah.
a good market.
So I don't want to like obviously step on anyone's toes or anything like that. But if it's okay with you, I mean, I might have someone else that might be interested in this one too that could probably pay a little bit more than me. So I'm not sure if there's any wiggle room on that price, but if there's ability for me to bring someone in, maybe we could just like joint venture on that deal.
We've had. I'm gonna be honest with you because we've
Please.
had offers on it that's over the 99.9. It's over that. So just wanted to be upfront because I don't want to waste your time. You know what I mean? Like if it fits your numbers and you're interested, it's either you're interested or you're not. You know, we're all here to make money.
For sure. And if, I mean, I guess if that's the case, if you've had offers higher than list, what was the seller's reason for not taking them?
Well, we're trying to see all the offers because we've had multiple people. There's people that are still trying to get showings getting in there.
Gotcha.
I've actually been returning phone calls of people because it's on lockbox.
Gotcha.
So I've been entertaining letting people get in there. You know what I mean?
Beautiful. Well, dude, it sounds to me like you guys have something here. Let me make a couple calls, and then is this a good number to give you a shout back at?
Yeah, of course it is.
Cool.
So where are you from in Arizona?
I'm in I don't know if you're too familiar with the area, but I'm in a like suburb of Phoenix, Southeast Valley.
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah. I was just over in near what's it called? Man, give me 2 seconds. I know. I was just in Arizona, literally like last month.
Really?
Yeah, we got my brother-in-law. He's got family there.
Okay.
What's it called?
Like, do you have like? Was it by ASU? Was it Scottsdale?
It's in Mesa.
Mesa. Yep. Okay. So that's about like 10, 15 minutes away from me.
Yeah, we were in Mesa at this. It's a older people community.
Sure.
It's pretty cool there, dude. Arizona's nice. That was my first time there.
Dude, I love it. And I do. This is awesome. That I mean, even you being an investor, I feel like we can do some deals together here.
Oh, of course, yeah. Especially if you guys want to get in the Jersey market, and then I'd like to definitely tap into that. How is the market in Arizona? Is it popping for the most part?
You know, there's a reason we're talking about New Jersey right now.
Yeah.
So it's
East Coast in general is pretty good.
Yeah. So we're good because there's opportunity. We're struggling because with opportunity, there's saturation and there's a lot of competition where properties were overbid and the bubble popped. And so we have a lot of buyers and stuff that are on the sidelines and we're just trying to figure out what the best strategy is. I mean, we have a few wholesale deals under contract right now, and but we stopped flipping. I mean, we were doing a bunch of projects and stuff out there, and as the market shifted, we saw people get swallowed up pretty fast.
You speak very well. How long have you been doing real estate for?
7 years.
7 years. I was going to say, you sound, I don't know, you sound like relatively like the younger side for real estate. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Definitely. How old are you?
I'm 20. I'm 25, man. I appreciate the compliment.
Oh, nice.
So I started at 18
I'm
and
19. So.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, dude. I started at 18 years old and I just kind of failed forward. I mean, I went through being an agent for a few years to wholesaling to fix and flip to now we're doing a lot of development and some bigger projects.
Yeah. So my end to the whole real estate thing was I'm the in-house agent.
By the way, anyone that says East Coast people are so mean, come on. For sure, dude. Well, I love it. Let me make some calls on this. I know your time is super busy, so I think that I probably have someone that if I'm not interested in it, I want to get some feedback from this guy, and then I will give you a shout back ASAP.
All right, appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks, dude.
Can you send me a text with your with your full name and your email too, just so I have it?
Yeah, I got you, bro. I'll send it over right now.
I'm gonna send you the same back.
Cool. Thanks. Bye.
All right, cool. Talk to you soon. Bye.
And there you go. So, Isaac.
Nice.
Go buy this deal. They've got offers above list right now. So if that tells you that there's opportunity, I know it's a war zone. Bear with me, but I'm pretty sure we could work something out on this deal. We can get it done.
Yeah, I'm wondering, would a question like, "Hey, where do I need to be to win the deal?" kind of question, would
Absolutely.
would that work?
That would be a great question to ask. The only reason I kind of stopped with it was because he started like being like, "Oh, you're so nice, you speak well," and all that stuff, and it became more of a relationship. So what I always try to teach people is that if it doesn't go and like lead to potential deal, what I want him to see is value and opportunity of doing business with us in the future. All that said, the minute I took my foot off the gas was when he said he had offers above list. Benson, I don't know if everyone caught this or not, but I appreciate you scrolling up and showing me. It was listed 1 day ago. At first, I'm like, oh, no way. There's no way this guy has multiple offers. It's been sitting. We scroll up and we're like, oh, shoot. It's listed less than a day ago. He has people trying to get in. They've got offers above ask. He has this on an assignment contract. He is wholesaling this deal. So if that tells you anything, if you bring someone to the table at 100K, let's say, he probably has it between 75 to 80K, maybe even lower. But if he has it 75 to 80K, that's 20K that you could go in and split together.
Right. How often, you don't see it very often that people will actually list wholesale deals on the MLS. How often do you see that? I was thinking a lot of states it's not even doable, like for
So it
rules
depends if
and
you're
that sort of thing.
licensed. In this case, it's either set up as a novation or it's set up as a net listing. And in the world of traditional agents, a net listing, it's essentially the same thing, but the seller wants X amount of dollars. You say, I will get you X amount, but I'm going to market it by doing this, MLS, this, buyer's list, whatever price I get above that comes to me. So you're able to save them money in fees because there's no realtor commissions. The closing costs are negotiable, whether the seller pays it or you guys split it. But the beauty is that you got a potential listing, you got market share, and I don't even know what to call it. Like you get exposure is probably the word. So you get exposure to more opportunity. If he has a listing sign out front, that's opportunity to get another listing in the area. He was very transparent about what's going on in that spot over there. He was saying New Jersey is a great market. This is a great relationship. This is a guy that I will absolutely text. And the fact that he's 19, one thing that I also will tell you guys transparently, I'm going to probably tell him that he was on YouTube. So that way he's 19. He's not going to feel like I was jumping all over the place and not making sense of it. He is a wholesaler. He understands the game. This is a guy that you want to be overly transparent with, because if you try to go and be sneaky and say, I'm a buyer, I'm this and that. If you notice, I went from saying I'm an investor to, oh yeah, I wholesale. I've got some deals. I'm doing this. By the way, oh, you're wholesaling. I might have a buyer. So instead of me saying I am the buyer, I said I might have somebody.
Yeah, it got real friendly real quick. And
Absolutely.
you just went with the flow, right? Like you didn't have
Always.
to open up so quickly, but you did because you were mirroring him.
Absolutely.
And he wanted to go down that path, so it was okay for you to.
Absolutely. I'm sending him a text right now. Good kid. Good kid.
Nice. Cool. So this was 1044 South Merrimack Road.
Someone go find a buyer for this. If you are in the New Jersey market, Isaac, like seriously, if you have buyers, this is one property because it's on market. There is no code or rule here that you shouldn't send this to somebody else. This is a property because it's active on the MLS. You send it to a buyer. You go in and see what you guys can do. Maybe you don't get a commission on the deal, but you split the assignment fee with the seller, or the seller's agent, I should say.
Right. But you'd still want to be careful about, giving it to someone you don't trust, because they could just go right around you and take it.
Absolutely. Huge nugget there for sure. And I should absolutely specify that. When I send properties out to people, this is one of the things that's kind of separated me differently than a lot of people in the wholesale world. I don't have a big buyers list. It's not that I don't believe in it. I've used that wording before. And I think buyers lists are important. But I think where, again, people get lost in the process is that you're over here trying to build such a big buyers list. We had someone in our bronze tier call on Monday that was talking about, Ryan, I'm trying to find, when do I feel like I'm ready to go and talk to buyer or talk to listing agents, try to get properties under contract? I was like, well, how many buyers do you have? And her name was Marie. And she's like, well, I've got 11. I'm like, you're good to go. Let's rock and roll. You got 11 buyers. How confident? The question is, if you're on the fence of when do I start writing offers with the buyers I have, the question you have to answer is, if you sent the buyer a property, would they buy it today? If you feel confident saying yes, that's a buyer that you want to work with. So in this case, Isaac, I just got a text from, by the way, he's on the live stream. Isaac is in Jersey, said, Camden, if I'm fixing flipping, I want the properties at 60 to 70K if ARV is 150 to 175. So because of the location, 40 to 50% max of ARV. Now, with that said, that is what his buy box is. So Isaac might have a buyer that would be willing to pay 95, 99, whatever. The thing is that obviously if this guy has offers above 100, the only way he's taking an offer below that is if it's a guy that he knows, loves, and trusts, and he believes that I'm going to perform with the other person may not.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, Isaac, this one might make sense for you then, because it's 60 grand.
Let's go.
It's 60 grand.
Stock today.
It's right down the way from this one that was flipped. It sold for 125, so we're at 47% of the after repair value. Basically the same house except for the bathroom. So this one has an additional bathroom we'd have to subtract out the value of the bathroom if we can't make that work somehow and get another one in there. But it does have a little bit extra square footage, so maybe that's how they made that work. It's a little bit larger than so. But if not, then this comes down. You maybe $7,000. I mean, this is such a low price property, but we're still over 115 and right around 50%. So this would be one I think we should call on. Do you see the agent on this one?
Uh-huh.
That's
got
Jeffrey Pearson.
Got Jeffrey Pearson. Hey, watch this, Benson. Look at this. We got, right, need North Jersey Benson. And then we got collaboration. Realtor caught me on a day. I'm double dialing. I'm going for it.
Hi, it's Jeff Pearson.
Hey, Jeffrey. My name is Ryan. I'm an investor out in Arizona. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Awesome. I am calling. I think you're the listing agent on a property. Is it Lewis Street out in Camden?
Yes.
Awesome. I was just wondering if that one was still available.
It is still available, yeah.
Beautiful. I don't want to take too much of your time. Sounds like you're super busy. I was just wondering if that price is negotiable. I see it was listed just a day ago. I don't want to waste your time or my time if obviously you guys are planning on getting offers above that list price.
Well, I mean, we have sold similar properties in that price range, so
gotcha.
He's not gonna, we know that it could sell for that or close to that.
Sure.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, and I completely understand. I don't think I'd be too far off of the list price. I've got a couple properties that I'm comparing it to in the area that look like I could probably sell it around like that 125, 130 range. What would it be best if I just send over an offer? Would it be best if I had you represent me? I'm not licensed in Jersey, so I don't.
Okay.
What would be easiest for you?
Yeah, I mean, certainly we'd be happy to represent you and do a dual disclosure.
Sure.
Disclose.
Okay.
Bullshit. Yeah. So.
Cool.
Well, send an offer and we'll go from there.
Yeah, you got it. Is it best just to text you over the terms right here?
Yeah. You want to text them to me?
That's fine. Let's do that.
So I have it in writing.
Cool. Thanks.
All right. Sounds good, Ryan.
You got to read the room, agent. If you notice, though, he didn't answer the first call, so I double dialed him. He answered on like the very last ring. So he's clearly busy. I acknowledged it. Hey, can tell you're busy. Don't want to take too much of your time. I don't want to waste your time, but also I don't want to waste mine. You don't bend over and say, hey, let me bow down and this is the agent. I will always do whatever they want. You got to be the investor that when the numbers don't make sense, the numbers don't make sense. Oh, well, you don't have any offers in writing based off this price point. Great. What that tells me is that there's potential for me to go lower. He used the right line as an agent that's experienced. And he said, hey, so what I want you to understand is we've sold properties in the area around the same price point. He knows his area. He knows his price. So what I went and pivoted to was, well, I don't have an agent. I'm not licensed in Jersey. Is there a way possible that I could have you represent me? What I'm implying there is I want a lower price. So in this case, one strategy when you're trying to wholesale properties on the MLS is that you're not going to go in there and you're not going to go and say, okay, well, I'm going to get this property under contract at 59. I'm going to sell it at 61, 62. In this current market, it is very, very, very hard to get a property under contract at list price and sell it above it. So there is no rule of thumb. I don't believe in the whole, it has to be under a certain amount of price, certain days on market or anything like that. A deal is where the numbers make sense for it to be a deal. In this case, what I would probably recommend going and offering is $45,000 to $50,000 with him representing you on the transaction. Have an inspection period. Your earnest money is refundable. You could go in there and get this property under contract and you could probably move it, not for a big fee, but for $2,500 to $5,000. Now, granted, we do have some people out here in the market that are watching this live. We got Brandon Rhodes. Shout out to him and Ricky. Awesome people. We got Isaac. We've got, I don't know if Javier's in here or not, but Isaac and Brandon do deals in Jersey. This is an opportunity that if you were somebody going and getting this property under contract, I would be reaching out to these people. These are obviously experienced investors that are saying we stay out of Camden typically, war zone, 30 to 40% of ARV. That is all based off of location, and these guys know the area. So in this case, if we could say ARV is 130,000 times by 45%, we're at 58,500. Now, if we were to go 130 ARV times by 50%, we're at 65,000. So if we say it's 125 again, let's go 125 times by 35%, you're at 43,750. I would try to get this property under contract around $45,000 is where I would start. Love it. Benson, what do you think of that?
I think that's solid. I mean, it's 15 grand below. But the fact that he might be able to represent you on both sides and make both commissions could be interesting enough to where he wants to help you along and potentially help you win this deal. But if they got offers at 55 and 60, like they're not going to take it, right? So when you asked him if you had other offers, that he didn't say he did, but what he did say was that, oh, we've got other properties in the area that we know we could sell that are similar to this at a similar price. So he didn't say that they already have offers that are at asking price, but he did say he thinks he knows what it would sell for.
Absolutely. And Benson, did you want to stay in Jersey, or should we try to throw one more market in for the last 15 minutes?
Let's do another market. I think somebody else said Austin?
Yeah, we got Austin in there. Let's do Texas. Let's have fun in Texas. Deals are bigger out there. Everything's bigger out there. They got good barbecue. I mean, we got deals to buy, deals to sell. Texas is our market. We are going to get a deal in. By the way, those two that we just went through, I would definitely recommend writing offers. That first guy I talked to, I would say he'd be a great relationship for a wholesaler or a buyer. Sounds like he has a lot of tools on the tool belt. Second deal, straight to the point, submit $45,000 offer.
Yep. Well, let's look here at what we got. This is one of the higher investor activity areas in all of Austin, just south of the river here, southeast. So there's a little corridor right here. You can see quite a bit going on right in here. There's activity here, but there's not a ton of new activity. So Austin is probably the lowest of all the investor activity areas in the big four. The first is Dallas, Fort Worth, second Houston, third is San Antonio, and Austin's last. So if I was going to choose any of those four big city markets in Texas, it would be Dallas, not Austin. Can you get deals done here? Sure, you can. People are doing them, but there's just not as much. Like you see that the most recent fix and flip in this little niche right here was 526. So about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's not too long ago, but it's enough to where you're like, okay, well, they're not closing flips every single week. So,
yep. And what does that mean as well? There's fewer buyers here, right? There's not as many people that are doing deals out here, and you got less data. And what's going to happen too is it's going to be harder to comp properties if we do find them, because the activities is more spread out, and so you're going to end up having to use older comps to help you prove after repair value on these properties. So let's go ahead and look to see what we can get deals here for. What are they buying them at, right? So let's just get it really quickly here. This was an on-market deal. They did it for 70%. So in these higher priced areas, you guys, people will flip at a much higher percentage of ARV, right? That's if you came in here with that New Jersey mentality and you started writing offers at 50%, you're never going to win a bid. So you have to know what the market is willing to support. And, well, look at that weird thing.
That's a baby. It's a mom holding a baby.
Oh, so they went black. That's just weird. I've never seen that before.
Oh my God.
They took like existing photos and just.
Yeah, I'm having a really hard time imagining what was in those spots. Like, that's just.
This is like.
That's funny.
I've never seen that before. There's something about this. I need to figure out something to put up on YouTube or something about this. What the heck? The Shadow Family.
Oh my God.
But it came out amazing. Look over here on the right. This is what it eventually came out to be. So let's go ahead and let's set this at 70%. Well, first we're going to find similar active deals.
Yep.
And then we're going to lower the filter to 70% or lower.
Love it.
And then
And Benson, that says there's 233 opportunities. So even in a market where maybe there isn't fix and flips being sold every single week, what we can see is that there's at least 233 opportunities where you can go in and negotiate on these properties. Remember, obviously, if it's listed day one on market, you don't have as much leverage in negotiation just because there might be multiple offers. But if properties have been sitting for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you should be talking to every single person. I mean, that one that had the spirits or whatever we want to call the shadows of those people, that property was on the MLS. Somebody
Yeah.
went in and bought it off the MLS, flipped it, renovated it, sold it. They bought it at 70%.
So this one here,
This is a deal.
it's 250 grand. These two were flipped. This one went for 455. This one went for 389. So the percentage of ARV in this one is between 55 and 64% at asking price. And we know there were buyers in this general area that were willing to go to 70% of the ARV.
341 hundo. Benson, I'm calling him.
All right, let's do it. Do you see
How
the
do you
name?
pronounce this? Encinal and
Joe.
the name of the street. Hey, what's up, Joe? My name's Ryan. I'm an investor out in Arizona calling about a property that I think you have listed. I'm going to butcher the name of the street. Is it like
Encinal?
Encinal. Yes, you know exactly what I was talking about. Is that one still available?
Yes, it's what my phone is these days, is Encinal.
Okay. I love it.
Yeah. 7 offers in so far.
Okay.
Nobody's full price, but we are definitely north of 200.
Definitely north of 200. When's the seller looking to make a decision by?
6 p.m. Saturday.
6 p.m. Saturday. Okay. I'm not sure if you're open to it. I just don't want to waste your time. Would you be open to representing us in the transaction?
Actually, I can write your offer, but I would prefer not to be an intermediary in the transaction. I would only represent the seller.
Gotcha. So would that buy side commission then just go back to the seller, or what would how would that work?
Well, actually, for what it's worth, I do have an agreement already with the seller that if there was no other realtor involved, the
Bump it up.
commission gets discounted considerably.
Gotcha. Well, that sounds like a win to them, a win to us, a win to everybody here. So
yeah, that's the idea.
Okay.
I mean, I'm a very reputable, realtor. I've been doing this like 40 years and, and I'm not going to screw anybody around, but I've had probably 3 others ask me to do exactly the same thing. And I can't represent multiple buyers in this transaction.
For sure.
So I'm only representing the seller, but I can prepare the offer.
Okay. Do you think this would be something that would be a good fix and flip? I'm out of state, but I've got connections out there in the market. So do you think this would be something that we can go in, flip, renovate it, sell it, and make some money on?
I do. Your level of renovation and the cost of renovation is the question.
Sure.
I mean, I would say you're anywhere from 50 to 100K to renovate this thing. But it is a 4-bedroom, 2-bath house. And honestly, it's not huge square footage, but there's only one really tiny bedroom in there.
Sure.
It backs up to this kind of field. It's part of a drainage, not a flood zone, but like this right off the corner of this property, there's like a flood path or whatever. What am I trying to say here? Flood. Anyway, it's like a channel, a flood, and it's just to drain this area from the middle of the subdivision, which is kind of where this house is.
Sure.
But it is not in a flood zone.
Okay.
Period.
That makes sense.
But it's kind of interesting because
Benson, how far is that from our property?
On this house, which is kind of cool. It's pretty.
1 second.
0.29.
Okay.
I'm not an engineer, but the house feels extremely level. I'm seeing very, very minor, cracks between sheetrock or whatever. I mean, nothing that I would consider foundation issues.
Sure.
Just, and And the roof is got some age on it. It seems to be doing its job. I don't see any evidence of leaks anywhere in the ceilings at all.
Okay.
So, but during a renovation,
Benson, can we pull up that 390 comp?
Putting on new shingles.
The one that's just a little bit top right of it.
That one's pretty old, I'm sure.
Gotcha. How's the like? What's the age of the AC?
I do not know. It's kind of weird. There's a new hot water heater in there, and the compressor is on that outside on the house, and it's kind of huge, is what it is. And the air handler and the heater is probably in the attic, but I haven't gone up there.
Gotcha. Okay.
But it's as you walk in, it's cool. A lot. I mean, I've shown it a few times, and everybody talks about it being very pleasant inside there. But I just don't know.
And Benson, I'm going to use your line here. Let's see how it goes.
At the same time, the hot water heater, the guy, he's passed away. It's an estate sale.
Okay.
But he I wouldn't put it past him that he had the air conditioner replaced, but I don't know that for a fact at all. Yeah, I just know it cools.
Okay. Well, what I would like to do, if it's okay with you, if you could just see if there's any way to confirm what the age of the AC is, but I feel pretty comfortable around like a 225, 230 price point range.
Very good. That would be a good one.
What do you think? Is there any terms or anything specific that would help us get the deal kind of locked up on our side?
I mean, it's just, we need a couple of weeks to do the title work.
Sure.
There is a particular title company and the escrow officer involved, and that's been involved with the estate on a few of their transactions. So they would definitely be in, it needs to get written up for them. It's cash only, and it's probably closed in 2 weeks, something like that.
Let's do that. Let's write it up at 225 with cash, and then I could send you over all the information for my entity, proof of funds, all that fun stuff.
That sounds great.
If you could just text me over your email address so I can send that over, but I would love to get this written up ASAP.
Yeah, I'm about to go out and show properties.
For sure.
Family, and I'm going to dinner. I mean, I will get to this, but it's not going to be immediate. Okay.
No worries. As long as it gets submitted to the seller, that is all that matters to me.
Yeah, sure. And that's good. Okay. I will text you my email right now.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thank you so much. And I hope to get this deal done with you.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye. So I ran my numbers just so everybody's on the same page. I ran it at 425. We had a 390 comp and I had a 450 comp. 450 looked beautiful. 390 was missing a bedroom and it was a little bit smaller. 425 to go in the middle conservatively times by 0.93 is 395, 250. He said between $50,000 to $100,000 in renovation. I went 75,000 minus $75,000 in renovation. We're at 320 minus by 10% of ARV, which is $45,000 profit, just rounded up to 50. $50,000 in profit to the end buyer. We are at 270, 250, offering 225, 230. I could probably sell this thing 240 to 245 all day long.
Oh yeah. And there's two buyers right here, right? These two buyers have already bought a house that's a comp of this house we're looking at. So, we would probably want to dig in and see who these people are, get a little bit further in. Do you actually have people in Austin?
I do. So we've got a couple buyers. We actually have a guy on my team that is in the Texas market. So what I would love to say is that if somebody else wants to go in there and we JV the deal together, let's do it. There is opportunity. There's money on the table. We have, 3 potential deals. I know for a fact out of the 3, 2 of them are opportunities I would go after. 45K on that one property in Jersey, and I would go after this one at 225, 230. You know exactly where my offer is going to be. The only thing I will say to challenge you guys is if you think you're going to get it over me, you better have a really good rapport built with that agent. So that's how you're going to get that one.
Do you have a spreadsheet for those numbers, or do you normally calculate that manually every time?
Calculator. I just do 0.93 minus the cost of the repairs minus the desired profit of the end buyer, which I usually factor in 10% of the after repair value minus your wholesale fee.
Yeah. So not too complicated, you guys. 0.93 minus the construction minus 10% of what would be the profit. That's just 10% of the ARV.
Yep.
Minus your wholesale fee.
Yep. And on top of that too, we do have a spreadsheet and stuff. It's kind of, I don't want to say like exclusive, but it's exclusive to our diamond tier students and those inside the community of agent investors. You could find calculators all over the internet. Mine is very particular to being able to run formulas and numbers fast. My whole goal here is to really just pull back the curtain and show you guys. I was running numbers. Benson was pulling up comps. I was talking to the agent all at the same time. You don't need to go and have all the crazy systems, all these different things. I was using a calculator, I was using Privy, and I was just using my cell phone to call the guy. So.
Oh, yeah. That was slick. Now, hopefully, you guys, we spent a little bit more time on the back end. Typically, we spend more time on the front end talking about buyers and talking with agents and building buyers lists, but we were really heavy on the back end now and talking to agents. So this is streaming to all of our socials. So go back and watch those videos and write down how Ryan was doing it. What were the questions that he asked? Do you see how he was basically really paying attention to what that person on the other end of the phone was looking for? Like, were they in a hurry? Or did they try to get off the phone quickly? Were they, trying to build rapport? And he just mirrored their actions on his end. And that helped those conversations end up way better. And I believe now he's going to have potential, at least 2 pretty solid.
That one in Texas, agents. I'm getting all day.
What's that?
So that one in Texas, I'm getting all day.
Oh,
yeah. That one in Austin. Yeah. Yep. That was
slick. What other questions you guys have? We got a couple more minutes before we close out here.
Nadia asked, they want to use their title. Yeah. So typically in the case of probate or any kind of like estate sale, they have an attorney that's assigned to the contract, or they have a closing company or title company that will be the ones that they go in. They already have escrow opened. It's not required to use their title, but it makes the whole process a lot easier. What I will say, just as food for thought, people overthink wholesaling. They're like, oh my gosh, I need to have the perfect title company. No, there's title companies I've used that I hate that you could still double close transactions there. The only time you ever run into an issue is if they are not investor friendly or if they're not familiar with wholesaling and double closes. In this case, I could tell you 100% transparently, there's been a lot of times with traditional title companies that do not focus on anything investment that I've taught them how to do the deal. I can't teach them the title stuff they have to do on the normal side of things. But what I can teach them is this is what the process is. Here's an assignment contract. It's no different if we do an addendum. Here's a separate purchase contract. We're going to have 2 escrows, meaning you as the title rep make twice as much money. Everybody's going to win here. Here's how we're going to do it. If you have any questions, let me know. I almost walked them across the finish line. And then when it's all said and done, fantastic.
Yep. This is a good one.
Yep. What is the 0.93 calculation? So I got sick and tired of all the stuff out there being put on the internet of saying, oh, well, just do 70% minus repairs. Just take 50% of ARV. The most lazy thing you could do as a wholesaler is ask somebody, what percent of ARV do I buy at? And you just put that percent of ARV as your search. If you don't truly understand the numbers, you're not going to succeed. What the numbers come down to is the 93%. Break it down, and I will do it all with you right now. 7%. So 100% is what the after repair value is. Minus 7% is 93%. Making sure we follow along. 7% is going to be broken down into, if it's a really good investor, they are either licensed or they have a realtor that lists the property for them for 1%. So they're paying 1% to a listing agent. They are paying 2.5% to a buyer's agent. That is 3.5%. We have 1.5% that is going to be in your holding costs. That's hard money. That's going to be time. That's going to be every day. If a good investor, a good flipper does this often, they know how much the property costs them per day. So the holding costs at 1.5% is just a wide variety. I mean, this is going to be a safe number. This is what I usually calculate my stuff off of. Now, there's 2% remaining. What's 2% remaining? 1% is from the buyer that buys the property when they have to pay closing costs. 2 is going to be when they sell the property, they pay closing costs. I am very, very, very conservative on this because I could tell you $1 million house is not $10,000 in closing costs. Most I've seen on closing costs is like $5-6 grand. And it was from a title company that just had crazy fees that they were charging for no reason. Yeah. So more often than not, you're typically like 0.5% in closing costs. We went 1% just to be super conservative. It also might take longer on holding costs. The 7% is a mixture of commission, holding costs, and closing costs. 7% off the top covers that. Now you're going to take off the repairs. That is what it is. The dude told me 50 to 100,000. I'm going off 75. I asked them the age of the AC. I gave them homework and said, tell me the age of the AC before you write the contract. Set the expectation. Minus $75,000. That led me to, I think it was like 320. Well, as much as I want to say everybody's a charity, we're not. We have to make money. We are business owners. So people that are fix and flipping the property, rule of thumb is that they want to go in there and they want to be able to make 10% of whatever they could sell it for. So if it's a $500,000 house, they want to make $50,000. That's 10%. So ARV times 0.93 minus the cost of the repairs minus the desired profit from your buyer. The only thing left is your wholesale fee. Where a lot of people do this process backwards is they're like, I want to make 20K. No, what you have to do is you have to be able to use the formula and figure out from what the property's listed at to what you could get it for, to what you could sell it for. That's the value, and that's what your assignment fee is. Stop worrying about how much you're going to make on the assignment fee and let the deal and your negotiation skills dictate what you're going to make on it. So what I mean by that, on that other example, if we go off of this, bear with me, we were at 425 ARV times by 0.93. We're at 395, 250 minus $75,000 in renovations. We're at 320, 250 minus by $50,000 in profit. I even raised it a little bit. 425, that means 42.5 is the desired profit from a flipper. I'm saying 50 just to be conservative. We're at 270, 250. They are listed at 250. So in this case, if I wanted to go and make, let's say $50,000 minus $50,000 in an assignment fee, says I should get this property at 220, 250.
Yep.
That's it.
It's a great approach. I love the formula. It really takes into consideration all the things. You're not just using blanket percentages. You're actually going in and thinking about the actual cost of what things really cost. Yeah. Keats is talking about the black magic ghost house. Well, awesome, man. Well, that was great. We had a good session today, you guys. We focused again on a different part of the whole process, trying to help you guys connect all the dots, help you iron out all of the, uncertainty and the questions. It's just going to take practice. Like, get on the phone, talk to these people. Like, the worst case scenario is they tell you no. Literally, they tell you no, I don't want to talk to you, or they hang up on you, right? And then just learn from the master. Ryan's right here. I was out in Arizona a couple of weeks ago for the mastermind, and I tell you what, you guys, it was amazing. Like, the next one's coming up toward the end of the year. Like, if you don't have plans, like, or you haven't set up your vacation for this year yet, like, think about actually making a trip out to Phoenix in November. I think it's in November, right?
Yep, absolutely. We do it in May and November of every year. You guys, I mean, this isn't a sales pitch or anything like that. We bring energy, we bring vibes. My diamond tier students, they come to the mastermind for free. We have public spots open. We open it up afterwards if my diamond tier students haven't filled the entire slots. But you guys can get all that information on my social media, DM me. What I want to do throughout these calls and the live sessions is to really just show you guys transparently what I'm doing. That was probably the first call I've had in a long time where someone was like, dude, you sound really, really good on the phone. And I think it was because, like Isak said on there, he was a 19-year-old that was looking up to what we were doing. Well, that's awesome. I mean, I appreciate that. But also, too, there's nothing here that I'm saying that you guys can't do, too. It's called the reps. This is year 7. This is nothing special other than I made a lot of phone calls and I understand the process very well. The more you do, the more comfortable you'll get. Beautiful. I see the question about going through the calculation a little bit slower. Make sure you watch the replay. I love you. I appreciate you, but I can't break down the formula every time we do this super, super slow. And even today, I feel like I broke it down really slow and I made it as consumable as possible. Watch the replay. Let us know if you have any questions. Join the Discord. I appreciate you guys. Thank you, Benson, again for this. You guys are awesome, and we will see you guys next week. Hope you guys have a great week. Peace out.
Bye, everyone.